Okay. Welcome to the Helen Plum Library Board of Trustees Special Meeting for July 22nd, 2025. Meeting is called to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dana, can we, sorry, Kelly, you are up. Right.
Our land acknowledgement statement. The Helen Plum Library Board of Trustees unanimously acknowledges that many indigenous groups once lived on the land where the library now resides. The library invites all to learn their histories, cultures, and peoples. The library board encourages our neighbors to explore learning opportunities through local indigenous-based organizations such as Midwest Soaring Foundation.
Thank you, Kelly. Jen, the roll call.
Allison Pinky-Blake.
Here.
Sue Wiggins.
Here.
Julie Walker-Smith.
Yes.
Ginger Kearney.
Here.
Kristen Asmund-Walsh.
Here.
Bijal Patel. Honored by Kelly Sims.
Here.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments? Okay, moving on, may I have a motion for adoption of the agenda?
I move to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. May I have another motion on the second action item, approval of the consent agenda items?
I move for approval of the consent agenda items containing approval of minutes, regular board meeting, June 17th, 2025. Approval of financial reports, check register dated June 30th, 2025. Cash and investments report dated June 30th, 2025. Revenue and expenditures versus budget report dated June 30th, 2025. Balance sheet previous year comparison as of June 30th, 2025.
A second. Ginger.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor of approval of the consent agenda items as stated, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Moving on to committee and foundation reports, audit committee.
Did not meet, but will probably meet in September.
Okay, sounds good. Director Relations Committee.
Yes, we met last week and we'll meet again on August 5th to finalize the, hold on, I lost my note here. We're finalizing the information to put on the evaluation for executive director.
Okay, great. Policy and bylaws.
We have not met, but we have a schedule to meet every other month starting in September, so
Okay.
there'll be some consistent work.
New cycle, right. And Ginger, the Helen Plum Library Foundation update.
Okay, great stuff going on here. We have garnered another $120 from the farmer's market and from Ray Cone. The next farmer's market book sale is next Tuesday, the 29th. And we also have El Famous Burrito on August 3rd. So we've got some really good stuff going on.
What happened from Grace?
This is $436. I'm sorry.
That's great. That's awesome.
$436.
That's awesome.
So we're doing well.
What was the El Famous date?
On August 13th.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ginger. Moving on to unfinished business, and you have an update for us?
Yeah, so this was a question from last month and I just wanted to bring it back to the board this month. It was in regards to the budget for the line 861. It appeared to be over and I think it was Julie who had asked, well, what's going on? And I said, I'll double check. We have prepaid a bill, so it's corrected in this month's financials. But it's a insurance bill that's for this fiscal year, but it was just paid in May.
Okay.
So with approval, it'll get shifted to this fiscal year's budget.
Okay, thank you for following up about that.
Yeah, and we, when Anne mentioned in our meeting that we will consider that the questions that come up unfinished business and bring it back to the board in the following, when she's able to, gather whatever information we need.
Thank you, because the practice was I would follow up with an email, but that means it's not open, it's
Right,
not
it's not-
necessarily open to the
right.
public, so that's why we're bringing it.
Yeah, so I
instead.
thought that was a great policy, so we're gonna do that.
Can I ask about the elevator It is
Yes,
aggravating me.
You sure can. The sensor on this north elevator has been bad since we moved in. We've asked, when we were under the control of Schindler Elevator with their initial service contract with them. They were asked numerous times to change it out. They said they couldn't find a replacement for it. When we have the new contract with the Liptomatic company. They came in and did an evaluation. They started with that light sensor. Outside of the elevator, kind of dimming that to see if there's reflection. That costs no money, so then now that is not the solve. They have a replacement order of that part. It's gonna be like $5 to replace that part. The same part that I asked numerous times Schindler to get, and they jumped their heels and wouldn't do it. So
They
now
really feel that's the cause, a $5,000 part.
we're gonna find out
Wow.
that one.
yeah,
sensor.
you can see like the Post-it notes over one of the can lights. Because they thought maybe if we just block some of the light, that's what could be causing the reflection, but we haven't had any luck with that, so.
They try to start cheap, not
Yeah.
fill a new center and no idea. So we're going in the right direction. They said the part was a six-week lead time. They said that you almost always comes early, but. Hope so. I hate the elevator as much as you guys, right?
I'm sure. I think you're on more than we are.
Thanks, Bill.
I try to stay off this one.
Thank you so much, Doug.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Yes, may I?
Yes.
Another unfinished business
Yes,
piece is House Bill 42, which
Okay.
was the bill regarding non-resident payments and the ability to break that up.
Mhm.
It will passively be signed on August 18th. So Governor Pritzker has not signed it, but it's on his desk, it's approved, and it just waits the 60 days and becomes law automatically.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't require a
Does
signature?
not require
If he
signature.
signed it?
If he signs it, it'll
in
happen
advance?
faster.
Oh, okay, but it's
60
set to
days
go.
is August 18th.
Okay. Okay, great, thank
Glad
you.
to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all the unfinished business. All right, moving on to new business. Can I have a motion for the first action item?
I move to adopt ordinance 2025-2026-002 to transfer funds from the library fund to the capital projects fund.
I'll second, Ginger.
Thank you. Anne, did you want to say anything about it? It's a roll call vote.
Sure, this is, we do this annually in reference to the bond payments. This is the money not spent on the bond payment this year because it wasn't due, but when we had the referendum, we had estimated that we would be paying 1.6 million annually. So we are setting that aside annually, and this is the overage from that, which will down the line go toward bond debt once callable.
Okay. Any questions? All right, Jen?
Alright, Kristen Adams-Sabawash,
Yes.
Ginger Kearney,
Yes.
Julie Kowalski Smith,
Yes.
Bijal Patel,
Yes.
Kelly Sims,
Yes.
Sue Wiggins,
Yes.
Allison Pinky Floyd.
Yes. Okay. Next action item, we have a motion.
I move to adopt ordinance 2025-2026-003 to transfer funds from the library fund to the debt service fund.
I'll second,
Thank
Ginger.
you. Anne, you wanna, is there
Ditto.
any difference? Yeah, basically ditto, same thing.
I think I'm looking at these upside down. Yeah, this is remaining funds that get moved so that we're not just holding on to them, but it'll go towards future projects.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, capital funds is future projects and debt service fund is the repayment of our bond.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
I'm realizing I had my,
Yeah, we
I had
have
my
this
stuff backwards.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay.
I was so confident before, and I was like, wait a minute, what?
All right, Jen, when you're ready.
Kristen Adams-Sabawash,
Yes.
Ginger Kearney,
Yes.
Julie Kowalski Smith,
Yes.
Bijal Patel,
Yes.
Kelly Sims,
Yes.
Sue Wiggins,
Yes.
Allison Pinky Floyd.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Okay, last action item.
I move to adopt resolution 2025-2026-004, IMRF, notice of appointment of authorized agent.
I'll second, Ginger.
Okay, and what?
So we are an IMRF organization. Right now, we have a single agent. This adds me as a second agent so that as we're onboarding new employees or if someone's going on leave, we have more than one person able to communicate with IMRF to resolve these things.
Okay.
Long time coming.
Who was that?
Our agent.
HR.
Oh, that's okay, that's okay. Okay, so it authorized you to be that second person.
Yes.
In the event of absence or
Yeah.
vacation or whatever. Okay, great. This is not a roll call vote. So, did someone second it? Okay,
Yes.
any questions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, moving on to communications.
We did not receive anything.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? No? Okay, great. Moving on, to the executive director's report.
So in your packet, we have a summary from our last survey. I'm looking at you to talk about it. If
Yeah,
the event-
page 22 in the packets. So much like similar to the previous survey, which was the
Collections.
library collection survey, we had a increase in responses, about 40 plus extra people responded to that. So it's in line. We did see an increase in households responding from like early and childhood users, which I guess we kind of expect when it comes to programs. So that's two of our main areas. And I know a lot of the effort was made to get people to complete the survey, like post programs and things like that. So again, it kind of makes sense that why we see an uptick in those age groups for those households. And relatively too, on the page 23, you can see from residence areas, we did see an uptick from people, folks from South Lombard completing the survey, which from the previous survey was down. Relatively speaking, Central North Lombard was pretty much the same. So the increase in responses from the previous survey came from South Lombard, which again makes sense. With the uptick in seniors, we make a big effort to some of the retiring communities in South Lombard as well.
I'm in South Lombard,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of my neighbors go like to the Glen Ellen Library,
Mhm.
Wheaton, which is about probably the same, so I don't know if that's something we've looked into to see.
That's a good question. I know we do have plans like in the future to start doing a little bit more analysis about like where library users are living and getting a feel for, where our users are living as well, like at a more granular level than like kind of what self-reporting between South or, north, South and seeing how engaged they are as well. Unfortunately, we can't really see. I think we'd have to talk to those neighboring libraries to see how many bar users are going to them. We can't see that on our end because they're not,
Yeah.
and because those checkouts and things like that aren't tied to their account through
And-
automails.
But that,
Yeah, how-
because the distance, I know where those libraries are, that's not, that's
where
not
do you
closer. No,
live?
South Lombard is like, so off of.
It might be more convenient in terms of like if you're in that area, like, there's a Jewel down there, there's a grocery store. So if you're running errands, the library may be a little bit more on your way.
If prices are fast.
Yeah,
Okay,
so because Roosevelt has so much stuff on it.
so much
and-
traffic on it, but I'm trying to think where the you said Glen Ellen, right?
Yeah,
Glen Ellen,
That was way back up
It's,
here.
it's at the end of downtown.
so it
Yeah.
is a little bit in, but you
Yeah.
can still, it's not horrible to get to. I mean, I've gone there a few times myself.
Yeah, I've been to
So-
both, so I.
But the other thing I was thinking was that, we have the data, right, for people's addresses. We could do like a heat map of.
Yeah.
And figure out, and then we could kind of correlate that with the frequency, like, the card, the checkout usage or.
Exactly. Yes.
And we wouldn't necessarily be able to correlate with like just coming to the library to use other resources don't require you to check out or.
Right.
Show your card.
Yeah, anything with a library card would be tied to their account
Yeah.
and we'd be able to, see that usage. And so, yes, I think it is creating like chloroplus maps and heat maps of where users live, but also kind of correlating that to population, so census data as well, because it could be, I'm not from Lombard, but, having spent a little time, it's more commercial space. I don't really know what the.
We won't hold the fact that you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't, so what the population distributions are, in Lombard itself too, and we can take a look at, because, yeah, we might see more central north people could be due to the library's location in that area.
Yeah.
And closer to them.
And it could be just they're the ones that decided to respond to. it.
Yes, yeah, this is all, yes,
Well,
this is
and
not
even
a
in terms of
scientific.
What we
survey.
defined as north, central.
Yeah,
south.
what is that?
Right.
There was a map adjacent to it. We just wanted to get a feel for where people were in taking a survey, so it's not
I think it
too.
was north of St. Charles Road
North-
was north and then.
And then
and
south of
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
South is Roosevelt,
Which
yeah.
is like roughly accurate, but
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a slightly off topic, but having to do with the population explosion, what do we consider Yorktown? Cause that place is just.
That would be south.
That would be south.
South,
for sure.
That's considered south as well,
Yeah.
okay.
Anything
Well,
below
if we look
Roosevelt.
at-
Roosevelt, okay.
just the saturation of population, like what we call central Lombard is huge comparatively,
Yes.
so we're gonna see
Yes.
more responses
Yeah.
there. But I think speaking to your point and what Tyler's been saying is looking more deeply at data and how people are using their cards, we can start to make that heat map of how far are people traveling to get here, who's using it, who's checking out materials. Maybe they're not
Yeah.
coming to the library, so there's a lot of opportunity for that.
Yeah.
And we'll do some outreach, that's the, right, so.
Yeah, that would be,
The strategic
yeah,
plan.
how do we can consider engagement, to non-users?
Mhm.
Or-
But now every person that has a Lombard address gets our newsletter.
Every person in our district.
Right.
So, right, but the
Which is not
people,
everybody,
not-
unincorporated.
yes,
Right.
but I mean, like, the people south of Yorktown
Right.
that are in the Lombard, anyone in our district.
Should be
gets it.
getting the newsletter.
Right, so I mean, that's at least step one with
Right.
awareness.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would say if you know people personally that aren't choosing our library and you feel comfortable getting feedback. I
Yeah,
would love
I'm curious to know
that
why they
feedback,
would-
Because
yeah.
now that we have a new, I can see before why they would shoot.
We don't have to dwell on.
No, we don't.
You know,
We're doing the best with what we
Right,
have.
exactly.
I guess I'm just saying that we're like, maybe north of here, there aren't as that many library choices that are reasonably located. But in the southern area, people have different libraries.
Yes.
Downers Grove is not that far.
I,
because of it.
that was,
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm
I
just saying
Downers
that there's
is
a lot of
really
libraries
closer.
in that area that people might choose for that reason.
I don't even know where Wheaton is, the library. I mean,
It's also in their downtown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's on a
across
park.
the chain
yeah, it's like right near the, it's just south of the train tracks.
and next to the seminary school, whatever the.
College.
oh, the college, yeah.
Right there.
I was just there. It's quite a lovely building. It's
Yeah.
about twice as big as ours. And they have a the cafe in there.
Yeah, leave it up.
It is, yeah.
How is our little coffee maker? Is that the bane of our existence?
It's being
It's not
retired, but we have some other possibilities that we're looking at for,
Yeah,
we'll see.
okay, I didn't know if there was something new in there
No.
Sorry, we're derailing your.
Okay. or. Okay,
So the visit frequency too, people identified as either coming weekly, monthly, so like 92% of people were what we would kind of consider frequent users. So it's something to keep in mind as you're reading through the responses as well, that these are coming from regular library users.
Yeah.
So event types. So for the questions too, I'm gonna give just a little bit of context. So people could select multiple event types. So the way to kind of interpret these kind of questions are that other people who responded to this question, 54% of them, so for example, included performances or presentations as a type of event they would attend at the library. So not everybody, not all I think the 243 people responded to necessarily every question, but people could put multiple things here, and that's why it's displayed this way. So not a lot of surprises here. So performance and presentations were by far most popular, and then from there everything was kind of some even distribution about event types. And we did see a lot of stuff about Studio 411 in this report as well. People really liking that, like wanting more of those activities.
when you say family, what does that denote? Is that,
So typically a family program is an event where it's not necessarily targeted towards like a specific age. So like it could be it's usually a youth program, a youth oriented program where like adults and siblings of different ages. So it could be
like a
lot-
concert?
like
Yeah.
it could be
It's a dance
concert.
It
program
would
coming
probably
in.
be like the dinosaur programs where you come in and there's stations and anybody of any age drops in to do it. I think it was Bluey was a really popular one recently. I think, yeah.
Isn't there a
things like
dance
that.
program coming up? I thought I saw something, right, about like a South Asian dance company.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
so something like that would be
And
considered.
that was billed as a family program.
So where would like, the early reader or like story time? Is that somewhere else entirely?
So I think there was.
Great question.
Will it be family?
I wonder
I
if
didn't
it
know
dropped off.
family
It,
considered in
it could have been, so, you printed out the questions, right?
I did, there was
So-
a category for birth to age 5, middle school and high school, and I wonder if that one just got dropped.
Okay.
I have to take a look. Yes, I know there was one that could have been.
Did you maybe group it with family? All right, we can
It's
come back to
possible. I'll have
that.
to take a look
Okay.
at how I did it, because I
Yeah.
simplified some of like, because the original questions were very long and just
Sure.
for display purposes, I had to shorten it down.
Gotcha.
And now,
There were 14 options in the original one, so I think you probably combined.
okay, and something might have got combined. Mhm.
We
Because
can,
that one was
Yeah,
kind
I'll
of,
figure that out.
in my mind, important
Yes.
when you got to the discussion about, I don't know what it is, type of events or something,
Mhm.
because a lot of them were focused on older. You said something about this informs the type of events we're going to plan for. I don't know what that is.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to-
Anyway.
Yeah.
You have all the data.
Yes.
But that was, I was like, well, wait a minute, how much of our people, how important is that to them? And I wasn't sure if it was grouped in with family.
It might have gotten grouped in with family. It shouldn't have. I'll take a look and see.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll
yeah.
follow up on
I flagged it.
Okay, cool.
that. So yeah, event, attendance motivation. So again, kind of we expect some people looking for arts, entertainment and culture, kind of things to do, along with like lifelong learning. I mean, we definitely see some of that. People also like that social connection aspect of things. And then the child development, that might have been, we were talking about too, where we're seeing the child development as
Yeah.
well as being a key thing where people are going to. And while it is the least, of those three, it is kind of in line with, I think this is maybe what we're talking about, so on the first page, like the early childhood, which is about 23% of
Yeah.
households, that is, in line with that.
Yeah, this is the part where I was
Yes.
surprised
Okay.
that the first two were entertainment, culture, lifelong learning. But again, it depends, like you said, there could have been a lot of seniors.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, the
Everything
adults.
can be, like, as you know, data can be sliced different ways.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a guide, but not a definitive.
Well, also, if parents are filling that out, it could be entertainment for the kids, but
Yes.
also child.
Yes,
They're
it
getting
could,
it
for
more
sure.
entertainment,
It's,
You know.
it's for the entire household.
For sure,
Not
yeah.
just the responder. So that they're coming to,
Kids out of the house, the idea is to entertain them.
Yeah, yeah, that too, for sure.
And in this question, you could also check more than one answer.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
another question.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Because when you look at the attendance numbers, 152 may have been to one child thing, but only 44 were at a senior event on the same day.
correct.
So it seems like
That's why we need more than one source of data, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I liked that 40% said connect with others.
Mhm.
I mean, that's really cool.
And we see that too in this next one as well.
Yes.
With what they consider benefits, and is like the learning new skills, learning, gaining new knowledge. They learning about library resources, is what people consider a benefit. That one stood out to me a lot. And then community connections are top three. And what struck me with that one too, how well that aligned with our industry directions of connect, discover, and grow. People discovering, new resources, growing as people, and also connecting, with others too. So, as being good things. So the community connection, and then, meeting new people, dovetailing that as well.
Even anecdotally, I was at a 401 class on Saturday and somebody was like, oh, I like to come and sew with others, you
Yes.
know, so it's like, yeah.
Was it the old library? There used to be like a knitting club, or I know I went there to try to learn, and I think that's gone by the wayside, but I think.
There's a fiber.
There's a fiber.
It's called fiber. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, let me get.
And go fancy and.
Second and fourth Thursday now,
Okay,
in the evening.
oh, what time?
In the evening, I don't remember the time, I just remember seeing it
Okay,
in the calendar.
Because I think that fills a need, I think, for people to not just learn, but to teach.
Yeah.
For people who feel, and because there's people who feel really, really passionate about whatever they do, and those are the people you want to learn from, because that's how you get those tips and everything, so. I'm glad that we're doing that, because I
Yeah.
did try and I found out I'm not really good at it.
Not yet.
This is true, you're right.
It's a
I'm
process.
still on my journey.
Yeah, and I believe that's been something that's been pointed out to the reports from Melissa, specifically speaking to things just like that about how people are eager to share their knowledge
Mhm.
at these kind of
Yeah.
like meetups and groups as well.
Well, and the senior programs seem like anecdotally ahead, because I walked in on, I don't know, Sunday, maybe? Was that when you had that huge senior
Mhm.
program?
It was either Saturday or Sunday. I think my folks went to it too.
One of the two.
There was music and they're like, oh,
I
live
couldn't
music.
find a
The
parking
disc
spot,
behind
and
it.
then we went down the street,
Mhm.
and there was I think it was Beacon Hill brought, do
Mhm.
they bring people
Yeah, they
often?
do.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
And I mean, they were coming out, people were, and they seemed so I mean, not just people from Beacon Hill, but just people,
Yeah.
for older people mostly. They just looked so happy, and I forget what the program was, it was, I don't know, oh, it was like Chicago connected, like it was Bob Hope, and I
Oh,
don't even,
sure.
stories of Chicago connected people.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a cool program,
Mhm.
and these people seem so happy, and it just made me, I was with my son Aiden, I'm like, that makes me so happy. And he's like, I'm glad it makes you happy. He's 17. So it was just cool to see the program in action.
Um,
event discovery. You wanna
yes,
come there?
so. The next question was about, yeah, how people are finding out, how people are discovering our programs, and as again, somewhat we expect, the top three way are, email newsletter, our library websites, and then the 401s, our print newsletter as well. By and large, those are by far the most popular ones, and again, keep in mind too that people are selecting multiple of those things, so
Yeah.
it's not just, one method, for discovering programs, but the email newsletter, I was surprised that was number one as well,
I
as
was
being
too.
things like that,
Yeah.
so. And I know, again, anecdotally, I believe it was Courtney, the adult program coordinator, saying that she sees a lot when the email newsletter drops, that her registrations like go through the roof,
Interesting.
those, that's when she's seeing a lot of their signups is from the email newsletter as well.
It also could be, people see it other places, and then they get the email, and like, that's the trigger.
Yes.
You know.
I think
Oh,
it's
I've
also
seen it
more
multiple.
convenient, because you're right there, at
You're
your computer,
there.
you click, and
Exactly,
it's done.
Yep.
yeah.
Whereas if you get the newsletter, you
Yeah.
read it,
You're like,
oh,
oh,
yeah,
it's
send it to my
cool.
computer, I'll do it later.
Yeah, you gotta log in to do it. And sometimes the registration's not open yet as well.
Yeah.
For
True.
some of those other
Yeah.
ones.
On that note, I was wondering about like if on, you'll pop-ups on the website, like or a reminder email about when like, if you are signed up for like the 411, I know we got something today, it's like registration is on Saturday, right? Like if you get a reminder email or like even like a pop-up, when you go onto the Helen Plum website, like registration for this opens on this day, like just as a reminder, I know I've heard from parents who have tried to sign up, or like they'll forget the due date, they'll send a reminder and that's full by the time they get to it, so like, I wonder if they're going on the website already, or.
Yeah, I can
We
definitely
wouldn't
see
want to
that.
send out information, but I was wondering if that was something simple.
It's something
that
we can help
could
resolve, yeah.
Do that, I don't know if that annoyance factor of clicking closed on a box or a banner or something.
In response to that, I do know that with the recent email newsletters, for programs that have not opened yet, they're offering the chance to sign up for an email reminder
Oh.
for registration. So
Okay.
when it does open up, you can do that. As far as, getting reminders
That's great.
once the due date drops. So yeah, it's something to look into. That's interesting.
So 2 questions on that,
Yeah.
one, if you are, I think you automatically get put on standby if it's closed, and then somebody will ping you.
If you get on the wait list.
Yeah, is it like you can say, okay, it's class, but please sign me up for the first available spot if if one opens up. All right, so I'll make sure that. And then second thing, I was curious if we do any kind of data harvesting to say, hey, Rachel came to that knitting class, maybe she wants to come to this class.
kind of, like what Amazon does, what Google does. Oh, you were browsing this thing, here's some ads for you. I just was curious if that's something that we would be interested in doing. It would require us to keep some data on patrons. But that way we could target things that we know if people have shown, like if we know people they've come to story time or they've come to this
Yeah.
event so many times, then they're probably likely to wanna come to another one. So I didn't know if that was something we would be interested in, or if that's something we could do
Yeah, it's,
legally and ethically and all that. stuff.
yeah, I think that comes down to, is respecting people's privacy and not being too invasive with that. I know we have discussed, like email segment marketing, along those lines.
Or kind of like
not
when
to say-
people sign up, so I'd be interested in other classes like this. Maybe a checkbox on the registration.
Yeah, those
Then
are all
I
possibilities.
can say, yeah, I
Yeah.
want to opt in.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think the opting in component is important because we do have a lot of communication going out to
Yeah.
folks.
Mhm.
And I think if you start to overwhelm them by making it too fragmented, but they didn't agree to it, yeah, can get a little sticky. But I don't know, I think we've been playing with segmented emails where it's targeted towards age groups based on your information in your account. So if you are a parent of kids, you're likely going to get those emails that are related to the card holders in your family. And that's really something we've done for about 2 years now.
Longer than that, I
Longer
think.
than that,
Yeah.
right? So it's just seeing how effective that's been. I think we kind of comment on the click rates pretty frequently in terms of the success of those. And I think that would just be kind of like one further step. So maybe going not just from, here's the age breakouts, but I'm a person who loves, I want to learn more about computers. I want to get every program emailed to me. So I don't know. I think that's a good thing to think differently about how we're communicating. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what
Just
we
give you
can
more
do,
options
but
and just-
yeah.
No, I think that is interesting. But I guess something to keep in mind is, yes, I think it'd be the capacity issue with that, because right now there's not a product that I'm aware of that would automate that.
Mhm.
So it'd be a lot of manually
Okay.
harvesting the data and then manually creating these segmented
I'm
emails.
not
as
about
well.
manual thing on.
Yes,
You
yeah.
can do it.
Yeah, I'm unaware of any library product that is doing that automatically, at this time.
Okay.
And then, there's also the thing too, as we'll get into this, our programs are not unsuccessful either. So it's just we can do more marketing, but it could lead, as we'll see in a second.
Capacity.
Yes, we're hitting program capacities, and that's one that I think it's. No, it's the next question. It's next. So it was the attendance.
One programs,
Yeah.
by 9:01, they are filled
Yeah.
on the day of registration.
Yes.
It happens all the
And-
time.
And you can see that other than people scheduling conflicts, the programs don't offer times that necessarily convenient for them. Registration capacity is the next biggest thing about why people can't attend the program. And so that's just kind of something to keep on our radar is, thinking about when we offer programs. If there is an unmet need, and then also, yes, what is the capacity that we have, if it is something really popular, and we're offering it more than once. I know Melissa's done that in Studio 401, when a program fills up and it's really popular, sometimes she'll offer if she has the ability, a second date for the same program, so. It's being
Because
responsible.
I know as kids, you have to think about the volume level and how big of if they're doing a craft thing, how much table space you have. So that might restrict being able to add more to a particular program.
Yeah, but I like the idea of if the wait list is filled, maybe I'll alternate an alternate date, or definitely next cycle, offering that program would be very.
It would be good
Obviously,
to reach out to the people on the wait list first. Before
Yes,
we
I
open it
think,
up for
I
general.
think it's typically.
Oh, yeah.
When I've
That's
done
what
it,
Melissa
yes.
did
Yeah.
even this past week, because I was on the wait list, and she's like, hey, if you have a sewing machine, you can come. I'm like, I do not have a sewing machine. And then, so I'm like, never mind.
Solution though.
And then, and she's like, and then she's like, oh, other people canceled, so you're in. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So there was good communication about that.
Yes.
It's nice when people advise that they
Yeah.
conflict has
Yeah.
arisen, so that someone on the wait list can attend.
Yes.
Last thing.
And speaking to the popularity, yeah, it is, 2 questions, but do our events meet the needs of the community and people's overall satisfaction with the events? The people that responded, 85 and 86, percent of them were either strongly agreed or strongly agreed on that. So, I think both of those were very encouraging about the response to the programs. I mean, even, so yeah, with the net promoter score, we're probably looking at over 90% of patrons who are satisfied with, agreed or, again, meeting the needs or the satisfaction with our programs that we're offering. And we did a couple open-ended questions as well about what programs people would like to see and then like any additional comments. And by and large, it was more was the kind of refrain. So either more programs of things we're already doing, or kind of expanding our programs. So a big thing was more Studio 401 classes. Again, I think because so what Sue was saying, for certain types of programs, we only have so many sewing machines, and usually that's a pretty small number, and there's more than 8 to 10 people who want to do those programs. So, but we can't accommodate more than that, especially like in a hands-on class like that. Realistically, inviting 50 people to do it is never going to happen. So there was, a big thing about that, family events as well, sessions, additional sessions from our popular programs. Author and literary events, social events for seniors, were, common responses about what programs people would like to see. Some of the feedback too was speaking to like that timing issue as well, specifically around kind of family programs. So, working adults with children, looking for something that's outside of working hours. And then, in the evenings, or, how after-school programs were done. I think some of the feedback we got. And then people finding programs, that discovery thing too. I think kind of speaking to that, learning about programs after the fact, or, once they're already filled, how can we make them more easily findable, like on our websites and through channels as well. I think it's something
Was
we
it
need to
that
look at.
people felt, well, I guess, we don't, did you get an indication that it was because you go on websites where you think it should be in this section, and of course it's over here.
Mhm.
Is it that people felt that we had misfiled the links for things, or is it?
It wasn't that specific. It was more just kind of general, like I had a hard time finding this, or I didn't find out about it till like after the fact. So,
Okay. Events, like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, again, these were, a handful of responses of the 253. So,
Yeah, and depending on how you're getting information, if you're waiting for the 411, a lot of events maybe were already pre-registration if you don't check the emails, so like it's.
The print newsletter tends to come before, we tried to get it before the first registration date.
Yeah,
But if you're coming to the library and you're grabbing a print newsletter, that can be
Right.
where some of it
Yeah.
goes.
and also just sometimes things get lost in the mail.
Yeah.
And a
Takes
different
longer,
file.
whatever, yeah. True.
Yes.
I was gonna say, sometimes it takes a while to get to it. It's not the mail.
Well, it can be hard.
Yes.
I think too, for folks, it can be hard to reconcile all the events in Lombard.
Yeah.
So particularly when we're looking at the massive activity guide for the park district and what's going on in the schools and what's going on in the library, like it's a lot of information to process, so
Yeah.
however we can make that easier, yeah.
Do we have story times right now that are evenings or weekends?
do.
I don't even know.
We
Okay.
do, but it's Mondays and it's usually 2 Saturdays a month minimally.
Okay.
But if you have an activity that's something else on Monday nights, or you've got,
Yeah.
football or whatever sport on Saturday mornings, I
Yeah.
can see where it is more limited than our week morning story time, so.
Are they well attended or
I don't think the Saturday ones are pretty well attended, the Monday ones haven't been as well attended as the daytime story times, but we're getting folks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is great.
All right, thank you.
And is this our last, I can't remember, is this our last?
It is the last
yeah.
survey.
Okay.
Yeah. So after this, we'll have, we've got those 2 meetings in August for the board. At the second meeting, we'll be doing the board SOAR analysis, where we get feedback from the board related to plans for what do you want to, what are our priorities, what are our opportunities? But we'll give an overview of that at our next meeting so that you're prepared for the second August meeting. So the August 12th, we'll give a brief introduction. August whatever 7 days is from there. The 19th is the traditional board meeting or the regular board meeting. That's when we'll do the sort of process. I think in the past, we've done like retreats and other things, but we figured we'd do this at the library and get through it. Because we've had some time to like hear from patrons as to, generally what's going on, what are we thinking? But we can start setting those priorities and then we'll work more on the overall plan to have that presented by the November meeting. Alright, quickly, I think tomorrow, we're gonna have bags for folks to check out. I'm gonna set this in the middle in case you guys wanna see it. It's just a tote bag that can be filled up with library materials. People will check that out with their library materials. And return it with their library materials, but it's a pretty heavy duty kind of almost tarp-like material, so we're pretty optimistic about it. But we'll have those, by the self-check on the first floor, by the kind of middle of the stacks in youth services. And then I think there's one going on the second floor as well.
Yeah.
Just to make it a little easier for folks when they realize there's so much they want to read.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are coming out
That's awesome.
by the end of the week, if not, I think it was tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
but Sometimes we get lost, no kidding. So you can see the records, I think, in our catalog, there's listed as unavailable yet, but yeah, how many bags in total did we?
We ordered 50 to start with. Patron services manager, Katie, said at her previous library, they had 50 or 100, I think. And those were almost always checked out and they were a smaller library. So decent chance we're gonna have to
Yeah.
get some more, but we're starting with 50 and we'll see how it goes.
Great idea.
And then, just a quick note on, I'm sure you've noticed that there's some shifting happening. So we've been watching on the second floor in the adult collections, how people are using the space, what's checking out, what makes sense, and it's going to be a pretty deep overhaul. So periodicals are moving, audiobooks are moving, it's getting less shelf space. We're shifting where the shelves actually are, so not just the physical materials, but the shelving itself, not the big units, but like adjusting the shelves so that it's easier to browse. But it'll be a big project. I think that it's going really well. But you'll see signs and carts all over the place, and that's why. Yeah, July tends to be really busy in youth services and like regular busy in adult services, so here we are.
Opportune time. All right, is that cover the library activity report, or is that all under the executive director's report?
That was executive director.
Okay, I was excited. To then, the library activity report. Anybody have anything on that?
I again want to applaud this new format. I think we've been saying it for the last 2 months, but this is.
I'm glad it's working.
Yeah, it's working. Yes. It definitely is.
We have some ideas for things we want to do with stats going forward, but we'll just surprise you.
I know that when I've attended some senior events, they've said there's some survey or something on the table.
Yeah.
I've never completed one. And I
I
have
won't tell.
personally witnessed other people just leaving. I don't know if they had earlier maybe picked it up or something, but if we really want feedback, maybe we need to emphasize.
And we've talked about, like staffers with tablets, so you just fill it out real quick on your way out. It's a little harder to say no to a person than it is to an object on a table, so that can help too. So, yep.
This is the next one.
I'll just say my little tip about surveys. I think whenever you take a survey, you get the people that really love it.
Oh, yeah.
People that really hate it.
Yeah.
You rarely hit the people that are like, yeah, it was good, but you could do this, maybe you could
Mhm.
tweak this, and I think that's my personal issue with, for,
Which is why it can't be our only
yeah.
Yeah.
data, right?
So I don't want us to put, yeah, like it's a good guide, it's a good tool,
It's part of it.
but it's not the full picture,
Yeah.
It's not the full picture.
The home delivery, I had a question. Do you guys do that? Like, it's not home, but do you do deliveries to like Beacon? Hill
Yes.
or- Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just wondered, is there any? Like 42, I was surprised that it wasn't higher, I guess, but I have no reference point.
So
Is
it's,
there any reason to promote it more?
I think
don't
we're
know.
actually at near capacity
Okay.
for
Well, then we
that.
can
It's
handle it.
2
Okay.
deliveries, but
Okay.
it's 90 patrons participating and that's.
Oh, it's 90 pages.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a lot of collecting of
That's a lot.
material. Picking up their cards, and the folks running it are really
Okay.
detailed and wanna make sure we're not sending redundant
Yeah.
materials, so but yeah, it's.
And I guess and I apologize, I wasn't thinking from a staffing standpoint, I was thinking from a people reached standpoint.
Right,
So 90 does seem like,
cause it is it's like a
More.
personalized.
Yeah,
Sort of experience,
it
and I
is,
think
yeah.
if the demand did grow, we might have to take a different approach.
is that where people get like a van, like libraries have?
That could be,
sometimes,
yeah,
like a-
sometimes, like,
that
that
what
would
they
be
do
one
for
of
the
the
van?
purposes
I
for a
don't
van, but it's also for school visits, it's
Oh, it is.
for,
Okay.
different libraries do for different things, it's for outreach events, so
Okay.
anytime we're leaving the building, they take the van.
Yeah. I just think it's cool that we do that, because there's so many people who can't.
Right.
Do the library.
I have a question on page 34 of the entire packet,
Thank you.
under the world language cataloging. It was interesting to hear that we're getting so many more in different languages like Arabic and Urdu. What, we were using this grant to send books out. What is the benefit of sending these books out? Is it due to the language or just staffing or?
Yeah, our catalogers don't speak Arabic and Urdu, so sending those out to have people who actually are fluent in those languages and are able to do the work well
Okay.
is a benefit to us.
That's
And that
great.
is funded by a grant through the state library.
Yeah, nice, okay, cool.
Is that in jeopardy? Are we gonna be using that in the future, or is that in jeopardy because of?
Well, it's funded by the state library, and about 10% of their budget comes from IMLS, which is being defunded. How the state is going to make up that budget shortfall is yet to be determined. That'll be up to Secretary of State and the legislature. So it's a little bit hard to say what will happen in the future, but fortunately, in Illinois, the state library's budget is only about 10% funded by IMLS, which is quite a bit less than in other places that are going to be harder hit by the loss of federal funds.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
Anybody got anything else?
I just wanted to mention, this is random, well, not totally random, but I had reached out to Anne and asked about. Because July is Disability Pride Month, and when I went to the Oak Park Library, I just happened to be there. I mean, in Oak Park, and we had time to kill, so I went to the Oak Park Library. And they had a huge display on Disability Pride Month, and they had some programming too. And I hadn't to know if we had that, because this was early in July. So I reached out to Anne and she said, yes, we have displays on adults and youth. So I was just mentioning, is it something we consider for programming next year? Because this gets way underplayed versus Pride, I mean, everywhere in the whole country. But they had really cool, even like neurodivergent. I think they might have a neurodivergent ongoing group, I'm not sure. Now, Oak Park I know is huge and a whole different beast. But they had like, ADHD and hidden disabilities, which is a very big pot of, they're programming for that month, and I think some of it might be ongoing. For kids that are looking to identify kind of in a similar way that are marginalized.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I
We
know,
are definitely open to it, I think
Yeah.
it's just, we wanna do all the things, and if you
Yeah,
wanna do all
you
the things, we
can't-
have
we
to
can't
let
do
go
all
of
the
some of the
things,
things,
right.
so it's really just watching patron trends. And
Yeah.
looking at how people are approaching our programs and kind of testing out different things that we haven't done before, so we're absolutely
Yeah.
open to it. When I had asked, one of the managers was like, we're just not there yet. So it's that question of we're kind of dipping our toes into some more serious
Yeah.
topics with programs and presenters, and I think we're getting there. Yeah.
And I'm just
There's-
sharing it rather than saying we should be doing this. It was more just, wow,
Right,
I have to admit, it was even. I didn't even realize that it was Disability Pride Month, and I
Mhm.
think and then I did some reading about it, and I'm like, there's just a lot out there. So many people fall into that category, and it gets so little attention.
Yes.
So.
Right.
That's all.
Thank you for bringing
Thank
that
you.
up. Anybody else on the library activity report?
I just want to say a few words about the library conference in Philadelphia. It was just an amazing experience and overwhelming for me. My first time, 15,000 attendees, and it was mind-boggling. And I just observed more than anything, because there were not that many sessions geared to trustees specifically. But I did attend, and I have some stuff for Ann, so. You know, the one I attended was kind of like almost an orientation for trustees. When I got in there, I realized that. So that boosted me up about how we all operate, because we reach a really good standard here. But there was a couple of things that I didn't recognize, and that's about policies. So I'm gonna send that to Ann. Anyway, and the most interesting things were the main stage speakers. They had several authors. And they're very impressive and motivating and inspiring. So money wasn't wasted on me. It was wonderful. So I'm hoping to go to at least part of it next year in Chicago. The opportunity is there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I will say it is very empowering when you get into a group that feels the passion that you do. It's very uplifting, so I hear you.
Yeah, it was just really amazing.
Okay, well, I know we're about to move on to the trustees building tour.
Yes, did everybody wear walking shoes?
I run my rollerblades.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be fun.
And then we'll return and adjourn.
Okay.
We leave our stuff here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're starting in this room.